J. Irongo, and I am privileged to be taking you through this particular course. And I just want to start by giving us an overview of what international relations is, and of course, what we are going to be running through in the course of running through this course. One of the key things that we need to observe is that international relations is a very important component of interstate relations. When we talk of interstate relations, it will be very clear as we go through what we mean by state. In the world system that we have today, we have the scenario where we have a number of nations around the world, and for them to continue coexisting with each other, they have to put in place measures that would ensure that they are doing what is expected of them. So in the context of what we should be doing, I would expect that we should be able to focus on the importance of international relations and why, as states or as nations around the world are dealing with each other, why would they need to relate with each other? I would also expect us to put it into perspective that international relations has a very critical component in terms of shaping what I would term as interstate relations, particularly within what we call the international system. And also, it would also be important that we take note of the fact that it helps us also to develop the capacity in terms of knowledge and information that would also help us to learn how to explain some of the international issues in terms of as they are happening in the contemporary world. What are their implications? What do they mean? And what would be the significance, for instance, of looking at those kind of things? So in terms of the learning outcomes, I would expect that as we are going through this particular unit, there are 5 key learning outcomes that I would have, and I would say that they would be very important for us to be able to take note of. One of them is that we should be able to explain, the basic concepts that are used in international relations as a field or as a discipline. It is an academic discipline. And number 2, it would also be important for us to be able to describe the main theoretical paradigms. When we talk of theoretical paradigms, we mean those significant theories that are so important in terms of helping us to understand what international relations is. And thirdly, I would also expect that we should also be able to explain the relevance of a concept like power. We cannot talk of international relations, we cannot talk of international politics without understanding power. We normally say that power is the ability to influence people's minds and actions. And within the context of international relations, then this would touch on how states and nations would be able to actually come together, try to influence certain issues within the international system. And 4, I would also expect that we should also be able to assess various actors within international relations and focus on what are some of the critical aspects that they would be trying to do and the role that they do play within that kind of a system. And finally, I would also be able to expect that we should be able to analyze simple, IR-related issues. When I say IR is short, is an abbreviation for international relations. So very simple issues, like when you observe what is happening around the world, you can be able to isolate specific issues